Good morning, good morning, good morning. I am a little late. I was running a couple minutes late, but good morning. Please like, share, and subscribe. Good morning to everybody. Welcome to Politics in Plain English, where we talk about the current events, what it means, and all that jazz. Hey, Chakra King. Hey, Barn Dog. Hey, everybody coming in. Please hit that like, share, and subscribe. I was running just a tad bit late because I was watching something and I wanted to get the full thing before I could lose it. But good morning, good morning, good morning to everyone. Happy Thursday. Happy June 4th. Hey, Faye. It is 10:12 a.m. on the East Coast. It is a little chilly. It is a little chilly. It's that spring chilly kind of day. And it's actually really chilly in the building that I'm in. So politics, that's exactly what it is. It is politics for sure. And today we're talking about Trump's final act. I do think he's on his way to FaceTime Jesus, but we also know that his political career is pretty much done, right? It's pretty much done and over with. And things aren't getting any brighter. Okay. Things are not getting any brighter. So we're in the middle of an election season. And so we are going to start seeing people jump ship. We're going to start seeing people say, we see the light, you know, all that jazz. We're going to start saying people, forgive me, forgive me. I don't know what I was thinking. But we're going to go through the list. We're going to show today of how batshit crazy these people are and what they voted for. Okay. We're going to show because we cannot sit here and not hold them accountable or responsible for the things that were right in front of their face. Okay. That is what we're going to do. But first things first, we always try to talk about the economy. I want you guys to look at this picture right here, the best and the worst state economies, right? Take a look at it. Good morning, Kaios. Take a look at it here. And do you notice something? I hope you guys can notice something. That more progressive states have better economies than quote unquote conservative states. Do y'all see that? Do y'all see that more progressive states? Hold on, I'm trying to put my phone on do not disturb, child. More progressive states have a better economy than conservative states. And that should tell you something right there. West Virginia has the absolute worst economy, and they are one of the ones that overarchingly voted for Donald Trump, right? Look at the Midwest. That's where a lot of his winnings came from. They have the worst economy. But anyway, I just wanted to give y'all a snapshot of that this morning to let you guys know like where the economy is and what's going on or whatever. So we know we went about 7 days without seeing the president. And then finally yesterday, he decided to make a grand appearance. He decided to make a grand appearance yesterday. Hey, T. He decided to make a grand appearance yesterday. Hey, Room Shaker. And this man decided to post this. Y'all. Who else is tired? I don't know if y'all can see this for real, but who else is tired? Now, he know he don't look like this for real. But it's mighty funny, but I want you guys to take a really close look at this because it's mighty funny that he posts this, right, during Pride Month. And look who has pom-poms behind him. It's men's in shorts with no shirts. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty wicked out here. He begins to post stuff like that. Then he decides, well, somebody made this, and I want you guys to watch this because this shit is hilarious. Like, this shit is so funny. Really funny. AI is running rampant out here. I want y'all to watch this. AI, folks got too much time on their hands right now. They got too much time on their hands. But anyway, I thought that was funny. That was hilarious. But did you see, girl, we about to get on that. We about to get into that. So let's talk about how deranged this president is. Okay. The president thinks that 25,000 is bigger than 1 million. Yes, Diana Ross. The president thinks that 25,000 is bigger than 1 million. Let that sink in, y'all. He thinks that 25,000 is bigger than 1 million. And I want y'all to just listen. We're going to watch a lot of video today, okay? And he had the nerve to say this from the Oval Office, all right? Y'all, when I watch this, I say, and he's also equating Martin Luther King, I Had a Dream speech to the January 6th. Let that sink in too. Thank you, Rainey. He is equating Martin Luther King, I Had a Dream speech to January 6th. Y'all watch this nut job. And this is who we have running our country. This is who we have picking people to be the heads of these elite departments, government agencies.
And that's where Martin Luther King made his great speech with 1 million people. I had the same amount of people. Actually, I had a little bit tighter. It was a little bit tighter. They said he had 1 million people, and I had 25,000 people. And yet,
did y'all hear that? Said it was Martin Luther King, I Had a Dream speech. He said, they say he had 1 million people. He said, I had a little more than that. Matter of fact, mine was tighter. I had about 25,000 people. He claims his 25,000 attendees were more than the million people that were there for I Had a Dream speech. Y'all listen, I'm going to back it up.
And that's where Martin Luther King made his great speech with 1 million people. I had the same amount of people. Actually, I had a little bit tighter. It was a little bit tighter. They said he had 1 million people, and I had 25,000 people. And yet, if you look at the picture of comparison, the exact same location, the exact same pool, except now the pool is clean. It was filthy dirty then. But it was amazing because that was my first glimpse into politics. I made a speech, and I had more people. In other words, you put the picture side by side, which we have. And they said, I had 25,000. He had 1 million, but I had more people.
Y'all, you put the pictures side by side. You put the pictures side by side, and it says that he has 1 million people, and I have 25,000 people, and it's actually I have more. Hey, the Bushes, I have more. No wonder he was missing for 5 days. Not only does he need Jesus, he needs meds, and he needs not to be the president of the United States of America.
They were tighter. My people would, if you put the picture side by side, which we have, and they said, I had 25,000, he had 1 million, but I had more people. They were tighter. My people were tighter. But these are minor details. That's what I said. Well, wait a minute, there's something wrong. But this is a very famous place.
These are the minor details. And I told him that something was wrong. Hi, Tracy. Welcome in. Please raise your hand. So that means you tell me if I go to the bank with $25,000 and I want to buy a home that costs $1 million, that I'll be able to pay for that home in $25,000 in cash because I will inadvertently have more. You lying to me. The bushes of his mouth is moving 10 times out of 10. He lying. I'm just asking a question. So if I go to the bank or if I go to a realtor and say, I have $25,000 and I want to purchase this home, right? And I want to purchase this home and I want y'all to add certain things in here because my $25,000 per what the president is saying is more than a million. If this is not some of the craziest shit, I don't know what is. I want y'all to listen to it again in totality. And he just rambles and he says, he's really fixated on Black men's success. He's very fixated because he's fixated on Barack Obama's crowds. He's fixated on Martin Luther King's crowds. He's really fixated on Black success because he is chasing this ghost that he'll never catch, right? He really is. But listen, just listen, guys, listen.
And that's where Martin Luther King made his great speech. With 1 million people. I had the same amount of people. Actually, I had a little bit tighter. It was a little bit tighter. They said he had 1 million people and I had 25,000 people. And yet, if you look at the picture of comparison, the exact same location, the exact same pool, except now the pool's clean. It was filthy dirty then. But it was amazing because that was my first glimpse into politics. I made a speech and I had more people. In other words, you put the picture side by side, which we have. And they said, I had 25,000, he had 1 million, but I had more people. They were tighter. My people were tighter. But these are minor details. That's what I said. Well, wait.
Ciao. And this is why we are where we are with literacy. Alternative math. Oh, yes, Rainy Puzz. And Linda would have told you to get the hell up out of their faces. Oh, it gets better. So this very same sitting, guys, this very same sitting, hey, Brown Sugar, this very same sitting, he then goes into the definition of a ceasefire, right? He goes in the definition of a ceasefire. And hold, please. Just hold, please. Guys, the definition of a ceasefire, a temporary agreement between warring parties to suspend aggressive action and stop fighting. It is often used to allow for peace negotiations, the delivery of humanitarian aid, or the evacuation of civilians rather than officially ending war. We have key characteristics. One of the thing that sticks out to me, motivations. While intended to reduce violence, parties may sometimes use a ceasefire to regroup, rearm, and gain a strategic advantage. This means the fire must come to a halt. Suspend is in this definition. Suspend and stop is a part of this definition. Okay? Are y'all with me here? Are y'all following me? Part of the definition is suspend and stop. Watch this space. I want y'all to see this. And this is the man running this country. Remember what the definition is. Suspend, stop. Remember that.
So how do you define ceasefire?
Pretty much.
The question from the reporter is, how do you define ceasefire? Okay.
So how do you define ceasefire?
Pretty much the way it is. It's a different part of the world. You know, I'd say in that part of the world, ceasefire is when you're shooting in a more moderate manner.
What? What? Come on.
So how do you define ceasefire?
Pretty much the way it is. It's a different part of the world. You know, I'd say in that part of the world, ceasefire is when you're shooting.
Pretty much what it is in a different part of the world. Now, I just showed y'all the definition of a ceasefire. Nowhere in it that it say in a different part of the world. Let's just.
So how do you define ceasefire?
Pretty much the way it is. It's a different part of the world. You know, I'd say in that part of the world, ceasefire is when you're shooting in a more moderate manner.
In a different, so you mean to tell me Webster's dictionary it says halt, stop, but over there, because it's Iran, it means something totally different. So you mean to tell me you're negotiating a moderate war? So you mean to tell me you're trying to get a deal and a ceasefire? You're just saying we're just going to moderately bomb you, and you can moderately bomb others? Y'all see how that don't make sense?
So how do you define ceasefire?
Pretty much the way it is. It's a different part of the world. You know, I'd say in that part of the world, ceasefire is when you're shooting in a more moderate manner.
This man isn't well. This man isn't well. And anybody that voted for him is not well either. This man said a ceasefire in another part of the world. Hey, Cruiser. He said this is ceasefire in another part of the world. Guys, when you are negotiating a ceasefire, it is halting all war activities. There is no bombing. There is none of this stuff, right? It is coming to a halt because we are now both at the negotiation table to discuss how we can end this war. That's what a ceasefire is a halt. It is a temporary stop. It is a pause. This man said, no. In that side of the world, it means we can moderately bomb. So you mean to tell me I'm going to negotiate with you while you're moderately bombing me? That ain't how this shit work. That's like you trying to come to a peace agreement with somebody you're an adversary. So you mean to tell me I'm going to pull up to a table and try to work things out and let you moderately slap me in the face as I'm trying to come to agreement? Who child my God today? Y'all, I really think that my 10-year-old could run this country a lot better. I really do. I really do think my 10-year-old could run this country a lot better, because if Jackson don't know something, he gonna say, "Mommy, I need help." Okay, let's get some help. But these are the folks. And I got another one better. Then he stands at he stands in front of like this big convention, and he claims a conflict. This is how you know, guys, look. People gotta. He says that there was a conflict between Cambodia and Armenia. That never happened. He makes things up, just like he said he stopped 8 wars. We need you to name them. This is one of the ones that he said that he stopped. He said it was a conflict. Has anybody ever heard of a conflict between Cambodia and Armenia? I'll wait. I like to consider myself a historian. I'll wait. I'll wait. There has not been a conflict between no damn Cambodia and Armenia, but he makes things up. And this is part of dementia. Okay.
Of them. Armenia and Azerbaijan, going on for years. They came to my office, the 2 leaders, 2 great guys. One was there 22 years.
2 leaders came to his office. The 2 leaders came to his office wanting to end this conflict because this conflict had been going on for years.
One was there 7. And they both said during the entire term of their office, all they did was kill people on the other side. And now they're sitting in my office, and they're at the Oval Office. It's pretty wide.
We're sitting at the Oval Office, and it's pretty wide. Yo, what?
They had one over here, one over there. And
I mean, where else would they be sitting? Would they be sitting on each other's lap? We've seen the makeup of the Oval Office. You have the desk right here, and you have the infamous couch right here, and the infamous 2 chairs or in a couch. You have all these things. We know what the Oval Office looks like. And it's pretty wide. One is sitting over here, one's sitting. No shit. But this never happened, though. But this is y'all's man, the art of the deal.
slowly over the course of about an hour, they came close. And at the end of an hour, we were hugging each other and holding hands. It was
At the end of an hour, we were hugging each other and holding hands. Don't you think that that would have been a massive press release? He needs to just call his phone up and FaceTime Jesus and say, I'm ready. He needs to FaceTime Jesus and say, Scotty, beam me up. I'm not saying he going to heaven and hell. I can't make that decision. But he needs to FaceTime somebody and say, I need to go.
an amazing thing, and we settled that war. That was not settleable, as the expression goes.
The amazing thing, we settled that war. Someone, please tell me, Hey, Bujati, please tell me, when did Cambodia and Armenia was in war a few years ago? And it lasted for years. Someone please tell me when this happened.
Cambodia and Armenia, it was just starting and it was a bad one. Think of that. We have, let's see, Cambodia.
And I really think he can't read. As you listen how he's going through this. I really think he has a literacy problem.
Armenia. We have Kosovo, Serbia, Israel, Iran, Egypt, Ethiopia. That's a beauty. They built a little dam in Ethiopia that's like the largest dam in the world.
They built a little dam in Ethiopia, but it's like the largest dam. What an oxymoron. They built a little dam in Ethiopia, but now it is the largest dam in the world. How can it be little and the largest in the world? Y'all, this man is not well. This man is not well. This man is not well. And I'm going to replay. I just want you just listening to it in totality. Just listen to it this in totality.
Of them. Armenia and Azerbaijan, going on for years. They came to my office, the two leaders, two great guys. One was there 22 years, one was there 7. And they both said during the entire term of their office, all they did was kill people on the other side. And now they're sitting in my office and they're at the Oval Office. It's pretty wide. And they had one over here, one over there. And slowly over the course of about an hour, they came close. And at the end of an hour, we were hugging each other and holding hands. It was an amazing thing. And we settled that war. That was not settleable, as the expression goes. Cambodia.
Settleable. He said we settled the war. It was settleable. So not only is he making up wars, he's making up words. Listen.
Cambodia and Armenia, it was just starting and it was a bad one. Think of that. We have, let's see, Cambodia, Armenia. We have Kosovo. Settleable, as we settled that war. That was not settleable, as the expression goes.
Y'all, this shit is crazy. This shit is asinine. And y'all can't tell me no different. That this man has not lost. This man, child. And not only is he losing his mind there, right? Not only is he making things up there, he has now talking about female reporters not smiling enough. We have high gas prices, high groceries, high energy bills. Folks can't afford a decent insurance coverages. Over 10 plus million people got stripped off of SNAP. Over 300,000 Black women were pushed out of the workforce. The economy is in the tank. He's over here telling you ceasefires are when you can moderately bomb each other. He's trying to convince folks. He's got people up on the Hill and investing in during hearings, trying to convince us that he's not sleeping. We see him in real time, and we're going to get there. Every other day, this war is ending. We know that he is pretty much manipulating the market so that he can make a bid and make hundreds of millions of dollars. His son has just got a government contract for drones over in Iran. He's trying to put his name on buildings, which the courts have said, you gotta take it down. He's appointing folks that are no more qualified to tie my shoe. But yet he's worried about women smiling. Child, I know you lying to me. The quality of gas has gone down, Tracy. You know why? Because this man told them that I'm glad you said that. Let me show you something. I'm glad you said that. I'm glad that you said that. We're going to get back to this in just a second. I want to show you guys something real quick. Okay? I'm glad you said that, Tracy. Because guess what? The quality of gas has gone down because guess what? The U.S. oil reserve is about to hit the lowest level since 1980. This man also said that he directed oil companies to give us diluted gas. Okay. So the reserves have been falling throughout May, with new government data released Wednesday showing a level of 357.1 million barrels for the week ending in May 29th. That dropped 8 million barrels in just last week. The latest reading means the energy backstop now sits at almost exactly half of the total authorized storage capacity of 714 million barrels. To find a lower level than what we have seen, we must go back to this man. 1983. You know, the lovely Reagan. The crack administration. That's what I call it. We are running out of oil. And we are going to see Exxon, BP made statements yesterday that if you think gas is high now, if you think your gas is high, wait a few more months, y'all. Oh, yes. It's about to get really real out here. Okay. But see, had they followed the Obama way when he tried to say clean energy is the way, right? And Jimmy Carter had solar panels on the White House, but then we know who came after him and took them down. And when they were giving money, paying people to put solar panels on the top of their roofs of their home, and the energy people were having to cut them a check, right? Some of these things we wouldn't even be in right now. But nonetheless, I want y'all to watch this. Okay. I want y'all to see this man get upset and talk about female reporters need to smile more. My God, today.
We see a young, beautiful woman, never smiles. I never see a smile off her face. I see her standing there with hatred in her eyes, like she has hatred because we have borders, because we have a strong military.
So he's telling her that she has hatred in her eyes because he has borders, and we know that the border has, That wall that he was building the construction has stopped on that long time ago. We have a strong military, do we really? We're getting our asses kicked over there. I showed y'all last week how they blew up the aircraft carrier. This is what his mind is on. This is the propaganda they spew out.
Because we cut our taxes.
Because we cut our taxes. Excuse me. You cut millionaires and billionaires' taxes. Meanwhile, us regular working folk, the working class, you didn't cut our taxes.
Because we do things that everybody wanted.
Because we do things that everybody wanted. And what did everybody want? Affordable health care, affordable gas, a living wage, jobs. But no, the black lady laughed too much.
And then we win our election in a massive landslide. We win 87% of the counties in this country. Nobody's ever heard of a thing like that.
That is also false, but whatever. Go ahead.
And that's because we're doing the right job.
If you were doing the right job, wouldn't he release the economic numbers? Wouldn't he release the job numbers if he was doing such an amazing job? If he was doing such an amazing job, right? Wouldn't there be transparency on the Epstein files? If he was doing such an amazing job, why are they having to gerrymander to win, to attempt to win? Because I don't think they're going to win with that. Because I do think people that have never voted Democrat before are going to vote that way. Because they know that's the only way to balance this thing out. If they were doing such a good job, why does little Mike Johnson every other week have to send Congress on vacation because he doesn't want to bring a bill to vote, which the GOP is finally getting some balls, and they're still not the hero, but they're looking at their poll numbers and realizing their own constituency is not happy.
And we took a detour down to Iran because we can't let Iran have.
We took a detour down to Iran, and remember, he ran on no wars, no new wars. That is something MAGA talks about. No wars and Epstein files. That's what they talked about. They talked about no wars, Epstein files, lower cost of groceries. That's what they ran on, right? And we're getting the exact opposite, folks. You were bamboozled, hoodwinked. Okay, you were lied to. This man didn't have a plan. He had a concept of a plan. There is no affordable health care. God damn it.
A nuclear weapon under any circumstances. We can't let that happen. So the reporters should be happy. They shouldn't be unhappy. They should be very happy. Because you know what we're doing? We're saving our country.
You know what we're doing? We're saving our country. We are saving our country. We are saving our country. And I just want to know, is this what saving our country looks like? He decided to wake up, leave Walter Reed, and do a press briefing where he's sitting down. You notice he really doesn't do them standing up anymore. And he wants to compare the size of skyscrapers and the reflection pool. Lord have mercy today. Lord have mercy today.
I'm getting a first glimpse, but that's your size compared. So those are compared to Those are among the tallest buildings in the world, including the Empire State Building, World Trade Center, Sears Tower, Chicago. So if you lay it on its side, you'd take 2 or 3 of them to fill it in, because the width is almost 200 feet wide.
Doesn't this feel like uncomfortable the way that he's describing this if you turn it on its side? Donnie boy, are you one of the girls? Are you one of the girls? We want to know. Are you one of the girls?
I just had this done. I'm getting a first glimpse, but that's your size compared. So those are compared to, those are among the tallest buildings in the world, including the Empire State Building.
I think he's one of the girls, y'all. I think he's one of the girls. I do. I think he's one of the girls. I really do think he's one of the girls. But instead of talking about how are we going to drive down the cost of groceries, how are we going to drive down the cost of gas, how are we going to get affordable health care, this man is talking about the size of a reflection pool compared to skyscrapers. We are here, people. We are absolutely here, folks. We are here. We are here. We are here, folks. We are here. And then to add insult to injury, right? He sends little Marco, he's one of the girls. He just is. Then he sends little Marco Rubio up there. And listen, Congressman Ted Lieu is one of the ones who always receipts. I wish I had that little video to play. Okay. And Marco Rubio got embarrassed yesterday because there's always receipts. It's always receipts laying somewhere. And Ted Lieu came to play. He did. Ted Lieu said, oh, he didn't fall asleep? Let the record reflect. T, where you at? Let the record reflect. Y'all know that's one of my favorite phrases. But here we go.
That's false. I've never seen him fall asleep. On the contrary, the guy doesn't sleep, which is a big problem because he calls me at 2 in the morning. He calls me at 5 in the morning. And, you know, I like to sleep a little bit, maybe not 12 hours, but at least 6. So he works. The other day he was at the Oval Office until 12:30 p.m. 12:30 a.m. I don't know what you're talking about.
Rubio, I'm going to show you in a moment a video that shows you just lied to Congress.
Oh, okay.
So this is a video of a cabinet meeting literally from last month where Donald Trump is sleeping while you're talking. Please show this video.
Coalition of countries that line up behind the peace.
Who is that? That is Marco Rubio. Who is sitting next to him? The liar in chief. He is asleep, y'all. This man is asleep. And Marco Rubio wants to say he has never seen him asleep. But he is asleep.
Behind the border peace, and it's still every day is a challenge, but it's been driven personally by the president. It's the reason why we're involved in this whole Ukraine.
And if you notice, you know when you're like falling asleep and you're really not supposed to fall asleep and you're sitting up in a meeting and your head kind of like goes this way, and then, you know, when you start, you don't have like anything, you know, to hold you up or whatever, or to rest upon, your body kind of like wakes itself, right? That's what we see happen here. So let's just back up.
Talking. Please show this video.
Coalition of countries that line up behind the peace deal, behind the border peace, and it's still every day is a challenge, but but it's been driven personally by the president. It's the reason why we're involved in this whole Ukraine-Russia conflict. That's not our war. It's not the president's war. This war started. It never would have happened if you've been president. But this war is going on, and the president is trying to end it.
You are literally talking about issues of war and peace.
It's buffering, y'all.
Donald Trump is sleeping right next to you.
No, he's not.
If Donald Trump cannot stay
This man said, no, he's not. Did y'all see him sleeping? Dozy done. Did y'all see him sleep? And he went to sleep twice. Not one time, but 2 times. Let me bring it back. Hold on. So he sleep right here. Then he wakes up. I'm going to turn the volume off and play. Then he wakes up, right? He wakes up, moves his tie. Then he goes back to sleep right here. And for little Marco Rubio to say he ain't sleep, you lying to me. This unwell, unfit, wig wearing, makeup smearing, shit on himself having, little kitten heel wearing, extra long tie with a 90s swoop, bay yang yang man, he's asleep. He is sleeping. This was just a couple of days. This was like 2 weeks ago. He's asleep. He is absolutely dozing off. And you know what? They need to run. They need to start doing campaigns calling them Dozing Donnie. Dozing Donnie. Dozing Donnie is who this man is. And they want to lie for this kitten heel wearing 90s side swoop bang yang yang. And I keep telling y'all, somebody need to send that man some boho, because that wig don't be wigging when he going out there to get on that helicopter. We always see the wind. That's exactly why he doesn't like the wind chime. He hates the windmill. He hates it. And the reason why he hates it, he can't stand to see that wig, hate to see wind coming. The same way this man hate to see a meeting coming, because he can't stay awake. He can't stay up. He be fighting. I'm fighting for my life. He be fighting for his life, trying to stay awake. Y'all saw him readjust that tie. Let's not act like the facts ain't the facts. Dozing Donnie is asleep.
talking about issues of war and peace, and Donald Trump is sleeping right next to you.
No, he's not.
If Donald Trump cannot stay awake at these important meetings where the cameras are rolling, imagine what he's like when the cameras are not there.
Not rolling. And I imagine that there is probably something, they probably put something in his pocket, right? Or somebody sitting next to him to kind of kick his foot underneath the thing to tell him to kind of move a little bit to wake him up, or something's vibrating in his pocket to get him to move a little bit to make, first of all, we want to make sure he's alive. They want to make it look like he's alive because we know he looked like the Walking Dead right now. The man is casket ready. Okay. He is casket or cremation ready. Whatever y'all want to call him, he's urn ready. All right. Because we know his mind ain't there no more, because he just told y'all just a few minutes ago, I just showed y'all where he thinks 25,000 is more than 1 million. He thinks a ceasefire means you can moderately continue to bomb somebody. Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to ask you, have you been at classified meetings where Donald Trump has fallen asleep or had trouble staying awake?
I've never been at any meeting where, and the things you're showing me now, he was not falling asleep.
And he's lying. But that's all they do is lie, right? That's all they do. This is Trump's base in a nutshell. Trump's base, all they do is lie. They just lie. They lie to themselves, and the lies don't even be math. And the math in the 2 + 2 is not equal in 4. 2 + 2 is equal in 5 to them. You understand? When you ask them their favorite color, they're saying the number 3. Exhibit B. Okay. Exhibit B. I want you guys to listen to this racist. I want you guys to hear. It's buffering some.
What has Donald Trump done for you?
What?
What has Donald Trump's policies done for you?
The question is, they're outside of a concentration camp. We no longer call it detention centers. And this Black content creator goes to the opposing side where MAGA is demonstrating and cheering for the abuse of folks speaking out against the humane conditions, which is also an amendment right, the First Amendment right. And he asked this man, what has Donald Trump's policies done for you?
He's put our pride back in our country, I think, is the biggest thing he's done.
His answer was, he has brought our pride back to this country. That is the biggest thing he has done. That is coded for, he's making racism okay again. That's what that is. He's making America white again. That's what he is saying.
Have you ever been directly affected by immigration?
No.
Aha! Have you been directly affected by immigration? He answers no.
So you agree with this though?
It's not a matter of agreeing.
So then he says, so you agree with this concentration camp? It's not a matter of agreeing. So I just need to know, are you going to support something that you don't agree with or don't completely comprehend or understand or have a grasp of what's going on? I'm sorry, I'm not showing up anywhere to protest, to have an anti-protest, to anything that I don't even understand what's going on, that doesn't really affect me, and I don't have any stance on it. Y'all, these folks crazy. Okay. And we can see that he's probably from the Jim Crow era. I keep telling y'all, these folks from the Jim Crow era are trying to keep control. They have these old congressmen in there that are from the Jim Crow era that are trying to tell us what to do. Keep watching.
With immigration at all, it's a matter of standing up for law and order.
It's a matter of standing up for law and order. So then what do you have to say about the January 6th rioters then? See, it's only law and order when it comes to people who are of a darker hue than you. Oh, but the president has 34 felonies. What about law and order when it comes to him? The president's name is mentioned more in the Epstein files than Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell themselves. What happened to law and order when it came to that? What happened to law and order when we are finding out that they are raping women, but we already know that answer? We know the answer because we saw another MAGA person said, what's the big deal? Okay.
Okay, so a lot of detainees in here actually have not committed a crime besides coming to the country.
I don't know that.
I don't know that, when the data has shown 97% of folks that they have detained are not criminals. They're just trying to drive up the numbers because these detention centers are privately owned. And they make money off of holding people the same way private prisons get money off of the bodies that they have in there.
And I don't think anyone here knows that.
So you-
That's why I think you need.
They do know that because their charges are posted and their families are saying that they just got picked up for being outside or being here for 23 years.
I think they need the facts and then look at it.
I mean, those are the facts. I mean, I understand that, but those are
Somebody
facts.
doesn't belong here, then they should not be here. Okay?
But what is the thing? But there's a such thing as asylum. Sorry, there's a such thing as asylum here in the United States.
Kind of what?
Oh, he's stuttering. I don't know if he didn't put his teeth in or not, but he's stuttering. Spit it out. There is such thing as asylum. It's in the Constitution.
Asylum you're talking about?
People can seek asylum here.
Well, when you get overrun by 12 million people, it's awfully hard to do that.
So you believe that 3 million people came into this country, but you just said you want to talk about the facts. How do you know that?
I didn't say I don't want to talk about it.
No, that's not what I said. I said you want to talk about facts. How do you know 3 million people came into this country illegally?
12 million is the number.
How do you know that?
That's what number the American people have been provided with.
Okay, so the American people have also been provided with information that most people in detention centers have not committed a crime.
That's true, unless they're.
I keep telling y'all. Over there in MAGA land, 4 + 4 = 5. And their favorite color is 3. He just said that 12 million was the number that he's provided. It's actually 3 million, but 12 million is the number that he's provided. And I love how he countered it and said, okay, and it has also been provided that majority of the people that are detainees have not committed a crime. Watch his stance change. Then watch him try to navigate to another issue.
They're illegal. Being illegal is committing a crime.
Thank you for your time. So as you can see, he didn't know jack shit. That old dude is just saying Fox News shits.
The man didn't know jack shit. Hey, Tweety. The man didn't know jack shit. He's just repeating everything that he's been seeing on Fox News. That's it. That's it, and that's all. He didn't know jack shit. But I am telling you who does know jack shit. These Republicans know what those polls are looking like. And they're getting tired because they tired of getting their asses kicked. Okay? They real tired of getting their asses kicked. Because right now they're getting their backs, their kneecaps, their skulls, everything kicked in. All right. They're getting everything kicked in right now, and they're sick and tired of being sick and tired. And those that have not won are in threat of not winning. Right? Here they go.
Mr. President Trump, get engaged. Mr. President, too many people have this debt, $10,000 on their credit card related to paying in part for things such as medical expenses, and they are going down. That is something that we, Mr. President.
And if you don't know who this is Bill Cassidy, the senator of Louisiana. He yesterday was on the Senate floor, pounding his hand on that podium with a credit card in the other hand and saying, Mr. President, get engaged. Because he sees his poll numbers. And he knows they're out of luck. The jig is up. in my good Jigga Man voice. The jig is up. People are paying for everyday expenses with that credit card because whatever their paycheck is paying them is not enough because everything is giraffe ass high.
You, the president, and we as Congress must engage upon. And by the way, Mr. President, I just so much want to work with you on that. If you invite me to the White House to bring a plan, which I'm about to describe, to work with you, to have your impression upon it, let's do it. We may have differences. I have no difference with anyone who wants to truly help the American people and who truly acknowledges that they are putting expenses on this because they don't have the money in their banking account, and then they're paying 22% interest. Mr. President, let's do it together.
Interesting. Real interesting. Real interesting. You know what else is real interesting? People are sick and tired. But I will say, this was some of the best stuff that I saw yesterday. We are seeing that Trump's name is being removed off of several buildings across the world. Okay, this is in Panama. Ladies and gentlemen, people, this is what happens when you are toxic. When you are toxic and you're no longer the way. He thinks that his millions were enough. But see, even the business sector of the world, the business leaders are also going to find themselves detaching themselves from this man because he's toxic and racism is expensive. Racism and fascism is very expensive, and they are finding out in real time how expensive it is because the people are not going to forget. The people are not going to forget the things that he said and the irreparable harm that he has caused not only to this nation, but other countries as well. People are not going to forget how he made healthcare unaffordable, and all people want to do is be able to go get their checkups for a measly $25 copay. Okay, people want to be able to work 40 hours a week and have an 80-hour paycheck and be able to afford their rent, their lights, their cable, and some groceries, and also put some gas in the car. Okay, people don't want to turn on the TV every day to something the fuck new. People are sick and tired of being sick and tired. People are sick and tired of only a certain demographic getting hunted down, right? And on the losing end. And you guys thought DEI was the problem, and only to come to find out when they stripped DEI and affirmative action away, it still didn't give y'all more jobs. It still didn't put you ahead. It still didn't put you in positions of power that you thought, because now what you're finding out is you aren't so smart after all, right? We did not see an influx of white men going and being accepted into these high Ivy League schools. We did not see that. What we see is a decline of people with the ability to actually lead and come up with great ideas. Right now, we have people that are being placed at the heads of institutions that are absolutely inept of the position that they are holding. These people are drunks. These people are sexist. These people are pedophiles. Again, these people aren't even qualified to watch a cat, and the cat washes itself. But I don't want to hear the tears from the white folk. You know why I don't want to hear the tears from the white folk? Because policies were laid out. Policies were laid out, and there was a stark difference in policies, but we do know they did not vote, in fact, for policy. They voted ideologically. These are ideologues that we're dealing with. But see, they didn't think that their gas was going up. They only thought that the Black neighborhood's gas was going to go up, and that's not how it works. They thought that as long as you take their food stamps away from them, we're okay. That's not how it works, because it is more of them that are on social safety nets than it is us. And we know who benefited off of DEI was white women. And it shows in statistics. That is who benefited from that. And now that they're seeing their paychecks being cut, and they're having to figure out, do I be a stay-at-home mom and leave my career because childcare is unaffordable? Putting gas in the car, buying groceries, paying for childcare, and electricity in our home is far too much. So I do not say, oh, they're invited to the cookout because they get it now. No, they're trying to rebrand because they see that this administration has come to an end. They see that it is toxic, and them being tied to it will be a detriment to their careers advancing. Candace Owens, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Tucker Carlson, what her name is, Kelly. All of them are now seen. And they're trying to find a place and a position somewhere to be welcome. They're trying to find a new home. Even MAGA is trying to find a new home. But I have news for you. Your new home is not over here in the cookout. Because we tried to tell you, because the policies that we were fighting for would in fact helped your white ass too. And I know people don't like this type of teaching. And it's always, why is it always about race? Because you all make it about race. Racism is exhausting and expensive, and is detrimental to any society. And I'm going to leave you guys with this. This Black woman who is educated put this thing and package this thing exactly the way I think. And it is exactly what is going on in America today.
Poor white people continue to support Donald Trump, even though his policy. The reason why poor white people continue to support Donald Trump, even though his policy directly makes their lives even worse, is because they don't actually vote for politicians on the basis of policy. They actually vote for ideology. Donald Trump embodies whiteness and he upholds white supremacy. And for a lot of poor white people who have accomplished nothing in life, who have very little access to opportunity, upholding something that gives them worth, even though it's based on the one thing that they had no control over, even though it's based on a lie, is more important than fighting for a system where everyone benefits. And this is why there's always a sort of state of confusion when people say, how can you vote against universal health care? Why would you not want more money going to schools? Why are you okay with a politician blatantly taking your tax dollars and pocketing it, rather than using it for the greater good? When poor Europeans came to America, they received a benefit in America that they were not afforded in Europe, and that was whiteness. And all they had to do was abandon everything they learned in Europe, abandon their heritage, their language, their customs, their traditions, anglicize their names, and they were afforded every single privilege that they did not have in Europe. They could be entrepreneurs, have access to loans, send their children to good schools. They were finally on the top of the hierarchy. And I don't think people realize how much success in building wealth and having money is tied up into whiteness. It is a political term that was born out of capitalism. And so for these white people who have not actually succeeded under this system, whiteness means everything to them. This is why you have poor people who are so against systems like socialism, even though it would give them more power. It would give them more agency. That would actually require that they give up the one thing that they value the most, the one thing that gives them value. And if that means worshiping someone like Donald Trump, while he destroys Social Security, makes their lives more unaffordable, makes it more difficult for them to access healthcare, that is what they're willing to sacrifice. The reason why poor white people continue